Hello everyone, and welcome to the Do-It-Yourself Gourmet. Today, we're going to do some simple things. Things that most everybody does when they're cooking frozen foods, things that are almost ready. And you know, there's a few different ways to make them. Sometimes the box will tell you to bake it, sometimes the box will tell you to fry it, sometimes it'll tell you to stick it in a convection oven. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the tastiest way for it to happen. Here, we're taking those ways, and we're finding out what the tastiest possible way to eat these. Right here we've got ourselves the Foster Farms Classic Chicken Breast Nuggets. Now, we're not paid or anything, so we're going to do a rather honest review of how they come out. And I got to tell you, so far, I have found these are pretty good. And my favorite way happens to be frying them in just a little bit of oil. Not so much that you got to put a whole gallon inside, but enough that you can strain it and filter it back a few times while still being able to have probably the more delicious method of how to enjoy chicken nuggets. Now, you can put them in the microwave and that's fast. No, but it's not necessarily good. And you can put them in the convection oven and it's not necessarily fast. And it's good, but it's not necessarily as good as it is when they're fried. Deep fried chicken nuggets is, I believe, how they were originally intended, whoever it is that made chicken nuggets did. See if we can find a link to sauce there in the description for the rest of where all chicken nuggets came from. But these here, by Foster Farms, I mean, there's a lot of brands, and the reason I'm saying the Foster Farms is so you know how these cook. And we'll review different chicken nuggets to see how they cook too. We've got ourselves a medium heat. Now, we took it from low onto high, and then to medium, so that we could get it heated evenly, bring it up for when we drop the nuggets in fresh when they're cold. Because when you drop nuggets or anything else inside of the frying oil, when you put them in there, they're going to bring down the temperature of the oil. And so right when you're about to drop things, you're going to want to heat it up and get it a little above, so that way when it's time to put it there, the heat is ready to compensate. And then when they're cooking, make sure it's at a medium so the heat stays constant. That's one of the tricks of fry cooking, is that you have if you have a manual control in that sense, you can up the heat right before you drop things that you need, and then you can lower it in between batches, and then you can keep it medium while you've got your food cooking without it overdoing them. And that actually leads to a nice brown coloring. And these nuggets, from frozen, only take about 3 minutes. I'm going to say a good solid 3 minutes. And they will be good to go, especially in a shallow fry. And this is probably somewhere in the range of 375 to 400 degrees. So now it's about time to pull them out. We've got ourselves a plate, line it with the paper towel, and we'll take them out one by one. Grab them on the sides, give them a good shake, good 5, 6, 7 times. Make sure the oil is off of there. Get it out. Keep it hold nice and tight, but not squishing it while it's time. Now, this is the point where you can lower the heat down because you got a next batch coming out, and you don't want to overcook the nuggets because, yes, they can be too crispy, and then that can be too crunchy in the sense that it's chewy, and it's turned it from a nice crispy shell into something a little less desirable. And that's obviously dependent on personal taste. But just know that if you need to lower the heat as you're pulling them out, baskets work, don't get me wrong. I tend to prefer doing the one-by-one method when it's not a huge batch. But shaking the oil off is pretty important because, one, you don't soak the plate that it's going on. And two, you don't have to soak into the food. So that the oil goes off and the crispy shell is allowed to crunch all by itself, having been nicely fused together by the heat while it was sitting there. And that is how we do it. Solid 3 minutes, about 400 degrees, maybe 300 degrees heat of the oil. Shakes after they're done. Straight from frozen. Foster Farms breast nuggets. Do-it-yourself gourmet, folks. We hope you enjoyed the review. Help you cook your food a little more gourmet. Even if it's just the regular stuff from the store, you can make it as great as it possibly can be. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.